On a recent Blaze vlog, the Blazer admits that his girlfriend, his wife, does not want to live anywhere else but the Philippines. And the Blazer has convinced himself that the Philippines is not for him. The Blazer went on to trash the Philippines, everything from the food, the culture. But he married a Filipina who doesn't exactly really want to live in any other country but the Philippines. I see some problems going on here, folks. Now he's taken this stance where he used to talk about having respect for the culture, having respect for Filipinos, the whole ball of wax, you know. Now, the Blazer takes a different stance. Is he afraid to live in the Philippines because he developed so many enemies? Now he's downing the culture of the Philippines, our Philippines. Look, I'm not totally, let's say, giving the Philippines a top notch on a scale of places to live. But I think it's a good place. Okay, it doesn't just take a woman to bring you out to the Philippines. You needed that change in your life, and you have to like something about the culture, or else it's going to be a hard time living here. We know all the downfalls of the Philippines. Yes, of course. You're not going to get all the foods that you want, but there are places you can get it. So let's scratch that one out, because, well, you can get things in the Philippines if you look hard enough. But I noticed a contrast of his opinion about the Philippines, where he was so pro-Philippines, he was going to move out here, he's going to build this and build that and build this and build an empire. For God's sakes, a fucking empire. Now he does a show, and kind of a long-winded show, and trashing the Philippines, the culture, the food, everything about it, medical. Well, what about all his plans he had? He was building a place to vow or somewhere. He was doing it. What changed? Well, he marries the woman and finds out that pretty much it's really not the place that she wants to be, pertaining, of course, to the United States of America or any other country for that fact. So, the Blaze seems to have a problem on his hands. How's that going to pan out? Do we sense trouble in paradise? No, he's afraid to live in the Philippines because he's made enemies. Come on, you know I talk about brass facts, brass tacks, whatever on my show. He's so easy to dish the shit out, isn't he? But when push comes to shove, all of a sudden, he's taken a stance where he will not see himself living in the Philippines. Wow, something went down in Funky Town, didn't it, folks? Oh yeah, I think there's some friction going on. Now, I still think that if he loves this woman, take care of that freaking mole, for God's sakes. He's always talking about me. Take care of your girlfriend's teeth. So you ain't got no money for that? Well, there's nothing to take care of. She has an overbite. Okay? That simplifies that, and I find it pretty god-dang fucking sexy. Look at Gene Tierney. You ever remember Alan Alda on the MASH show? He said, something about that Gene Tierney. I just love that overbite. Some chicks look good with that. She does. I find it extremely sexy. And believe me, I'm not a perfectionist, but there has to be certain features on a woman that I like. And I likes it. I likes it a lot. Now he's got this girlfriend with this God-forsaken mole on her face. Probably a really nice gal, too. And he's got all this money, but take care of it, man. He's giving advice. Why don't you get your girlfriend some real teeth? Well, it is a real teeth, number one. But he had to make an issue out of that, of course. That's the Blaze. That's who he is. Now, a different stance. Something's going down. For him to put that show on all of a sudden, where it sounded like he was very pro-Philippines in the beginning. He got married to the girl. And now, what's going on now? Something's going down in Funky Town. As it sounds from his show, that she don't want to really leave the Philippines. This is quite a, quite a situation. Quite a conundrum, I would say. What are you going to do now? You married the girl. You don't want to live in the Philippines, and she does not want to live and leave her family and go live anywhere else but the Philippines. He's got some roadblocks on his road. How's he going to handle this? You can't have it all. You don't want to live in the Philippines because you're afraid to live here. You don't want that challenge that all of us have taken that live here, of living in the Philippines, because you're too spoiled. You want to cook up those big beefy steaks that's clogging your fucking arteries. But that's okay. But you won't take care of that mole on her face, that poor girl. That lovely, poor, innocent girl. Take care of that mole before it goddamn multiplies and we're all in trouble. Jesus Christ, give the girl a break. My God, I have nothing against his girlfriend. She might be a real sweetheart of a person. I have no reason to believe that she is not. Well, my girlfriend is a sweetheart. I'm not making judgment on her at all. I accept her for all she is, overbite and all. And there's nothing not to accept on that because I find it sexy. Nevertheless, her overbite. The poor girl's got a mole on her face. It's above the skin, potentially cancerous. You mean to tell me with all his claimed money and success and the empire that he built out of raising, or he says he did, bovine? The bovine king? Or the farmhand, according to how you look at it. Well, the way I see it right now, folks, a real dilemma. Now, unless, my hearing is a lot worse than I thought, what I gathered from his last show is that got some friction going on. So he wants to make an excuse for it. So henceforth does a long-winded show about how he feels big change. Because I remember, from the beginning following this guy, he's saying that I don't respect the Philippines or the culture. That's not true, but he's not. But back then, it was a different deal. He was preaching about how you should respect the culture, the people, and blah, 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 and take care of your woman and all this other shit. Well, what happened since then? He made enemies. I already told him the Philippines is not the place for somebody with a personality and a superiority complex like him. No, the Philippines is not a place for him. Well, you see, he's already made his mark in the Philippines. That was his problem. He already made his mark. Now he's got to live with it. Or he doesn't have to live with it. So he's decided, I'm not going to live with it. Now he's downing the good country of the Philippines. Quite a contrast. Quite a contrast. And I have to have all the amenities in life. Well, you got all this money. You could live with all these amenities that you got in the United States. You could find them right here. You just look around. You could find them right here in the Philippines. You got the money. You get the money, you get the honey. You know what I'm saying? You could find them right here. But no, he's making these lame excuses now. I didn't even listen to half of his show before I put this show on because I had heard enough. Now, let me get this clarified now. Unless I'm wrong, and somebody please correct me, and I will correct myself by going over his video again. He's now taking a different stance where he's just crushing the Philippines. The Philippines don't need you here, Mr. Blaze. The Philippines has spit you out. Stay in America where you belong. But the question is, my dear followers, would it be right for him, to force her to live in America, a place that she doesn't really want to be, because he is her, well, that's his asawa. Is he going to forcibly make her live in the Philippines? Or is he going to have this long-distance relationship where he just comes over every 6 months and pays conjugal visits, throws her a little cash? Is that a relationship? I see something happening, folks. Do you? Something's going wrong in his perfect life. The real narcissist of YouTube. Pushing his expensive grills, trying to show everybody that I live a high life. Well, usually when somebody does that, they're actually lacking on everything they're talking about. Then maybe he did not own the farm or whatever, the land. Then maybe that fancy trailer didn't belong to him. Maybe he worked for somebody. Maybe it was his family's property. Look, you can't believe everything everybody says on YouTube. Please tell me that you're all not that gullible. Well, a lot of you are, and I've proved it. My girlfriend, Gina. Gina now. Remember where that word came in, that name came in? Roberto would remember that one. Gina. Okay. But not getting back to that. People can be very gullible. Amazingly gullible. And listening to this guy, especially after his last show, continues to amaze me on, it's a farce. The whole thing, his life is a farce. Okay? Now he's attacking the good country of the Philippines. No, we don't need you here. We don't want you here. Go away. Don't go away, man. Just go away, Blaze. You're as phony as a $4 bill. And, you don't deserve your wife now. So, do we have a little friction going on here now? It's coming out. Hey, I listened to the show, and to my ears, although one of them isn't as good as the other, what I concluded from there is there's a problem. Big problem going on. They're at a stalemate, my friends. They're at a stalemate. A real stalemate. Which direction will she go? Will she, out of obligation of any sort, move to the United States like his plan? But it suddenly sounds like his plan's changing. Something went haywire. What went haywire is that maybe she did decide that, no, man, I'm not going to move away from my family. I'm not ready to live in the United States. Comes up with all those excuses he does. I'm not old enough to worry about retiring. I got an empire to build. An empire. Sure you do. Yeah. Empire of shit. Go clean up your fucking cattle shit, your heifer shit, instead of tossing shit to us good people here in the Philippines and on the YouTube community. Because you're full of shit, Blaze. I always thought you were. This is a guy who give it with one hand and take away with the other. The MF gave me $600+, but yet he attacks me on every fucking show. Something wrong with that picture, right, folks? Any psychological problems going on here? I don't know. You tell me. I've been trying to figure it out, but here we go. Go listen to Blaze's last show. Tell me what you make of what he's saying. And please, correct me if I'm wrong, because what I ascertained from what I heard on his show, that there's trouble in paradise. I thought he was making arrangements for her to come to America. Is that? He said he had all the paperwork in order, and he was so diligent about, taking care of all the, dotting the I's and crossing the T's to get all the paperwork together to get her to come to the U.S. of A. married her to allow her to do this. Did something change? Something happened. What happened, Johnny? What happened? Larry, you want to really tell us the truth about what happened? You got a stalemate going on here? You went and married the chick to try to get her to bring her to the United States? Well, actually, before that, you were going to live in the Philippines. You were planning on building a home and live the life and perhaps the vow, and you boasted about it and you boasted about it. But now, that different stance. Now he's trashing, I tell you, he's trashing the good country of the Philippines. We don't need you here. We don't want you here. And I think it's too dangerous of a place for a coward, a pussy, narcissist like you, sir. She don't want to be with you, I think is what it really is. Because any woman, seriously, who loves a man that much, I think you'd find that most of the time they'd be willing to make that move just to be with that man. But, she's having second thoughts, my friends. She's definitely having second thoughts. Funny the way things work out, huh? It really is.